WRTV News at 11 is sponsored by backtocaring.org. From Indy's streaming news leader, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Well, tonight, high schoolers all over the state are gearing up to take the next step towards their future. College Goals Sunday allowed students to see just how much financial aid they can expect before making their college choice. WRTV's Griffin Gonzalez takes us inside one local high school that participated to share why this year's filing is different from years past and why experts say college is still a good investment.
Families call us all the time saying, I didn't think I was going to get any aid. I can't believe how much aid I got.
High school seniors all over the country are looking towards the future, and FAFSA is making a college degree more attainable.
Taking that sticker price down to the net price and cutting that in half makes a massive difference over time.
The free application for federal student aid, more commonly known as FAFSA, is a yearly program designed for students looking to receive financial aid in their pursuit of higher education.
The FAFSA is the gateway to almost all types of financial aid. Filing the FAFSA and getting that done is very important.
Bill Wozniak is the co-chair of College Goals Sunday. The mission? Help students and families fill out required forms at nearly 40 locations across the state, like this one at Lawrence North High School.
Great day to come in and have people who are knowledgeable in all of the new parts of FAFSA be right here to help get this important piece of documentation in for all of our college-bound students.
And this year, it's a statewide requirement.
It's a part of the graduation requirement to get it completed. And some families already that I've spoken with today have started, but they've hit some hurdles. The FAFSA opens up so many resources.
Even with financial aid, the question remains, is college still worth it? These experts say yes.
Definitely, college is worth it. The price that it pays, or that you pay to go to college, what they don't tell you is all the things that you learn outside of the classroom.
College degrees are always going to be necessary, so bringing us back to how crazy important FAFSA is to make sure that that documentation is in. It allows students and families to really get a good snapshot of what kind of money would be available and to make an educated decision. Is college the best way for me to go?
In Indianapolis, Griffin Gonzalez, WRTV News.
Now, there are many different paths for students to take after graduating high school. If you were unable to attend a College Goals Sunday near you, but still are looking to learn more about filing a FAFSA form, visit our website, WRTV.com, and search for this story for more resources that may be provided. The deadline to submit a form is April 15th.
Well, this morning we needed to bundle up heading out the door, but by this afternoon, temperatures had climbed 34 degrees. We made it all the way to 60 this afternoon in Indianapolis after starting off in the mid-20s. And tonight, still, temperatures are running about 15 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago. So that still puts us solidly in the 40s in Indy and Lafayette. That's still right around the average high for this time of year. Now, some areas have dropped a little bit colder for you. In Greencastle at 37. It's 39 right now in Bloomington. And there you can see on the satellite and radar, some radar returns here across portions of Lake Michigan, but we've just got a few clouds that are scooting across the northern portions of central Indiana, really the northern half of the state. No precipitation going to be associated with those. In fact, as we go into tomorrow morning, we'll have temperatures that will start off in the upper 30s, so not as cold as this morning. About 37 at 7 a.m. We'll see quite a bit of sunshine there at 9. And 43 will be our temperature. Coming up, we could start the week with some record warmth. That could be followed by some strong to severe storms and some gusty winds of change when we could see a few snowflakes once again.
Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting early Sunday at a Northwest Side apartment complex. Officers responded to the 3800 block of Gable Lane Drive around 2 o'clock this morning. Now, they found an adult male in the parking lot near a vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, this is the second homicide to occur at the residence at White River Apartments in a week. At this point, police say there is no indication these incidents are related, but they will investigate if there is a connection. Providing more access to food, a move people who rely on SNAP benefits welcome with open arms. Before now, EBT cards couldn't be used online. But Caitlin Kendall found out that's about to change as soon as this week.
That is very helpful. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed.
For Natasha Davis, SNAP benefits have helped her get by.
More people than you think use SNAP benefits, so it's okay. It's okay to ask. It's okay to ask for help, to need help.
She's right. USDA numbers show more than 614,000 Hoosiers participate in the SNAP program.
Like everything has went up, even milk, cereal, bread, like basic necessities that people need in everyday life. It's been up.
But utilizing those benefits can be a challenge if access to food isn't there.
I can personally say that access for me is very hard as well, because sometimes I'm not able to get to the grocery store.
And that stands true for thousands of people in Indianapolis. City numbers show 208,000 Indianapolis residents live in a food desert and don't have adequate access to fresh food.
Indianapolis is one of the biggest food deserts in the Midwest right now.
Dee Ross is a local activist that works to study this very issue and provide resources for people in need.
We really need to think of more equitable solutions and innovative ideas to really bridge the gap and remove the barriers to just sustainability.
That's exactly what Thrive Market is working to do. They're rolling out their grocery delivery service to people who use SNAP benefits.
That'll be one less thing off your plate that you would have to worry about.
Users can fill their virtual shopping cart, pay with their EBT card, and the groceries are delivered.
This is a big deal when it comes to a sense of meeting people where they are.
For people like Davis, it'll allow her to continue working and get her groceries without having to sacrifice one.
That would help out a whole lot. Like I said, the elderly people, like myself, that will help out a whole lot.
In Indianapolis, Caitlin Kendall, WRTV.
Now, the program will be available to Thrive Market members in Indiana starting on Monday. EBT benefits can't be used towards shipping costs and delivery fees, but they do offer free shipping on purchase minimums. It was a busy week for lawmakers at the State House. Now they heard emotional testimony on several bills. WRTV State House reporter Meredith Hackler brings us the legislative weekend review and what we can expect this coming week.
A stressful week for lawmakers as members of the public gave emotional and passionate pleas against several bills. One of those included a bill that would ban dedicated bus lanes. The bill passed out of the Senate and is working its way through the House, where over 50 people testified.
I often feel like I'm risking my life just to get to work some days. I believe these dedicated bus lanes would increase my safety.
I don't need any impediments to get here, to get to our business. We tried to do with the city of Indy, a digital sign, and they said no on that, right? I'm doing everything I can to get customers to our business. I don't need any deterrents.
The bill will receive a committee vote next week. A Senate committee advanced a bill that would define anti-Semitism, but they amended it after members of the Muslim community feared it would sanction people for criticizing the Israeli government. The amended version doesn't have full support from the Jewish community.
This bill cannot be amended. We need the bill as passed through the House in order to protect the Jewish students on campus who are suffering every single day. They are being harassed. They are being bullied.
Looking ahead to next week, two bills that could advance to the governor's desk include the Green Alert Bill, which would send an alert to phones and smart devices if a veteran is missing and at risk. Another bill that could advance to the governor's desk would address third-grade reading skills. The bill has gotten opposition due to a portion of it that would hold students back if they can't pass the iRead test by the end of third grade. With your Legislative Weekend Review, I'm Meredith Hackler, WRTV.
With just a few more days left in Black History Month, many filled the Universal Ministries Worldwide Assembly Sanctuary this morning to honor city and community leaders making a huge impact in Indianapolis at its 16th annual citywide Black History Month awards service and celebration.
It is very important that the church sponsors and hosts an event such as this to show people within our community that the church has not forgotten them. The focal point of many of our families down through the years began with the church. And even though the church does not take its stand in the community that it used to, we are a church that still believes in outreach, community service, and those that serve our community. And this is just our way of giving back.
Well, Bishop Boyd says to celebrate those giving back to the community year after year is a beautiful blessing. Donald Trump continues his primary winning streak against opponent Nikki Haley. But is she finally ready to call it quits after losing in her home state? You'll find out next on the News at 11. Well, Nikki Haley isn't dropping out of the race for the 2024 Republican nomination despite a decisive defeat Saturday in her home state of South Carolina. Meantime, former President Donald Trump is signaling he believes the primary is over, calling on Republicans to unify behind him. ABC's Jay O'Brien has the latest from Charleston.
The race for the Republican nomination now turning to Michigan and then Super Tuesday after former President Donald Trump beat challenger Nikki Haley by 20 points in her home state, South Carolina. The former president's campaign saying the primary is over.
There's never been a spirit like this, and I just want to say that I have never seen the Republican Party so unified as it is right now.
Once a popular two-term governor in the Palmetto State, Nikki Haley now looking past the loss here and vowing to stay in the race until Super Tuesday in early March, when 15 states will go to the polls.
I don't believe Donald Trump can beat Joe Biden. Nearly every day, Trump drives people away.
Haley supporters we met pushing her to stick it out as a Republican alternative to Trump.
She wants to move past the drama and focus on the American people.
Are you concerned that she may not secure the nomination?
You know, I'd like to let everybody vote. I think she still has a lot of fight left in her.
But Trump still pulling from a passionate base of supporters.
He's just done great things for the country. You just can't go wrong with his results.
Exit polls showing most South Carolina Republican primary voters view Trump as more likely than Haley to beat President Biden in November. And a majority say Trump would be fit to serve as president if convicted in one of his 4 pending criminal cases.
Nikki Haley told supporters here she's sticking in the race because she believes that former President Trump and President Biden are both unpopular with voters, and saying she's going to keep making that case. Her campaign already promising what it says will be 7 figures worth of campaign ads in those Super Tuesday states. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Charleston, South Carolina.
We're getting a clearer picture today of the toll war has taken on Ukraine 2 years after Russia began its full-scale invasion of the country. Ukrainian President Zelensky says 31,000 soldiers have been killed since the start of Russia's February 2022 invasion. Now, this is the first time Ukraine has confirmed its number of losses, and that number is far lower than Russian estimates. Zelensky also says Russian forces will attempt to conduct another offensive in Ukraine in late May or summer. The country remains desperate for aid. A $60 billion aid package requested by President Biden and passed by the Senate is stalled in the House. Now, the White House says approving the funding comes down to House Speaker Mike Johnson.
I have spoken with him personally. He has indicated that he would like to get the funding for Ukraine. He's trying to figure out a way to do it. Right now, it comes down to his willingness to actually step up to the plate and discharge his responsibility at this critical moment. And history is watching.
Meantime, President Biden's more than 500-plus sanctions on Russia is unlikely to restrain Vladimir Putin, whose war economy is now being fueled in part of munition production. Well, credit card debt in the U.S. is surging. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says credit card debt hit a new high of $1.1 trillion from October through December. LendingTree says the average unpaid credit card balance was more than $6,800 in the fourth quarter. But some economists say the debt level is not as alarming as it may seem. They say workers are still commanding robust wage gains. The stock market is on a solid footing, and attitudes toward the economy, well, have improved dramatically in recent months.
After a mild afternoon, we've got some colder pockets out there tonight. Areas like Columbus down to 37 already. It's 36 in Richmond, but mid-40s in Indy, and Martinsville reporting a 50-degree reading. We'll see those temperatures by tomorrow morning. That'll be in generally the range of the 30s. 32 degrees in Kokomo, about 37 in Indy, and holding on to about 40 degrees in Bloomington. And Monday, we will see a lot of sunshine once again, so you're going to need those sunglasses. Again, not as cold to start like we had this morning, but already by mid-morning we've got temperatures in the upper 40s, eclipsing our average high for this time of year, and we are certainly not done warming from there. Pretty nice lunch hour, 58 with some sunshine, and wind actually will be fairly light, only about 5 to 10 miles per hour for us tomorrow. And as we go into the afternoon, we keep those mostly sunny skies, and look at those afternoon temperatures. Much more of an April-like feel out there as we will get into record territory. Forecasting a high of 68 degrees in Indianapolis. That would tie the record set in 1998. And there you can see by tomorrow, our average high climbs another degree. We get to 45. 68, though, again, is what we're expecting around Crawfordsville toward Indy. Even 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon in Bloomington and Columbus. So it's another day where you need that coat in the morning and really don't need it by the afternoon. And we keep things very warm here going into our Tuesday. Numbers well into the 60s to about 70 degrees again. But you notice we've got that chance for some thunderstorms. And already the Storm Prediction Center for Tuesday, especially Tuesday evening into Tuesday night, does have really the northwestern 2/3 of central Indiana in that slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5 marginal risk as we work our way closer to the Ohio River. That some of those storms, again, could be on the strong to severe side. Some gusty winds, hail, possibly an isolated tornado or two. So those are all things we're going to be watching. There's still some questions in the timing. This is Tuesday midday. You can see there's some active weather going on to our east. Not expecting that to be severe, but as we get to 11 o'clock Tuesday night, you see this green filling in. That's where we could have some of that heavy rain with a few of those thunderstorms. And then this will certainly be with a cold front, because we will see the potential that a few snowflakes could mix in here on Wednesday as temperatures will be falling through the day. We'll see our winds that will be quite gusty here. This is Tuesday night, gusting out of the southwest between 30 and 40 miles per hour, and then they start to turn around to the northwest as we go into Wednesday morning. The extended forecast as we put that active pattern all together for you. So temperatures will slide from close to 70 on Tuesday, mid-40s on Wednesday, but look at that quick recovery already into the 50s to end the week and the mid-60s by Sunday.
From Indy's streaming news leader, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
The Indiana Department of Health is reporting the state's first confirmed measles case in 5 years. The virus was found in a Lake County resident, but the Department of Health isn't providing any age or specific location. Officials say the risk to the public is still low. Now, this comes as the nation sees a jump in measles cases from 20 to 35. A CDC spokesperson tells Scripps News they expect cases to continue to rise, especially with spring break travel.
Measles cases are on the rise, driven by lower vaccination rates. Most of the cases were in children and teens who had not been vaccinated against the disease. At least 6 children tested positive for measles in one Florida elementary school.
It's unfortunate because measles is a vaccine preventable disease, so we really shouldn't be seeing any cases.
Measles cases are rising globally too. The World Health Organization noted during a press conference this week that more than half the globe is at risk of outbreaks.
It tells us that we've got gaps in our immunization system, in our vaccination coverage, and we really need to try to fill those, especially as we're seeing more cases globally.
Measles symptoms usually begin 10 to 14 days after exposure. They include runny noses, coughing, red watery eyes, small white spots inside the cheeks, and rashes on the face or upper neck. Measles can be serious and deadly. The CDC says 1 in 5 unvaccinated people in the U.S. who get measles are hospitalized.
You know, a lot of people think about measles being, it's kind of like, it's just a childhood disease. It's just kind of a rite of passage. And that while most children get measles and they do okay, it can be a very, very serious infection that you can get pneumonia, you can get brain disease. It's actually one of the leading causes of blindness in the world.
Measles is highly contagious. Up to 90% of unvaccinated people who come into contact with an infected person are likely to contract it. Lindsay Thies, Scripps News.
Well, it's considered the run-up to the Oscars. This weekend, the SAG Awards took place in Los Angeles. ABC's Irene Shaw with a look at who went home a winner.
Thank you so much for this.
This morning, the winners from the Screen Actors Guild now gearing up for the biggest award show of them all, the Oscars.
I have long believed it's not so much what you win. A lot of it is the last thing that happens before ballots get turned in.
This is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world.
Oppenheimer winning the SAG Awards top prize, outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture.
It means the world to us.
Best cast in a motion picture, best male supporting actor, best male leading. But despite the hype, Barbie with 0 wins.
If you'd been around, I would have offered you the same advice.
Succession only winning for Best Ensemble in a Drama Series. The other TV awards split between The Bear, Beef, The Last of Us, and The Crown.
Wow, they give you a lot of time at this one, but that's all I have.
And it was a night of firsts. Lily Gladstone, the first Native American nominated or winning a SAG, starting her speech in the Native American language of Blackfeet.
We bring empathy into a world that so much needs it.
Several reunions happening that night, from Devil Wears Prada.
By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me.
To Modern Family.
You know what I miss about it most of all?
Going to work every day.
The money.
And even the cast of Breaking Bad coming together once again. And Barbara Streisand accepting her Lifetime Achievement Award.
This is such a wonderful award to get because you know in advance you're going to get it.
When you look at someone like Barbara Streisand, she is someone that has paved the way for so many to come after her.
And as we mentioned earlier, the SAG Awards are among the last award shows before the Oscars on March 10th. And you can watch that show live right here on WRTV.
All right, that Monday forecast looking pretty good. We're going to see a lot of sunshine, temperatures that start in the 30s, already close to 60 degrees at noon, and we will get close to 70 during the afternoon hours again. That'll be very close to tying, if not beating, a record high. We'll see the very warm weather temperatures on Tuesday again, with some scattered showers and thunderstorms, transitioning to a few rain showers on Wednesday.
All right, that does it for the news at 11. Thank you so much for making WRTV your choice for news. You can find updates on local stories anytime on the WRTV mobile app. Have a great night.